It's day 314, 314 days since over 200 girls were abducted from the government secondary school in Chibok. They're still not back with their parents or with their families, and we still don't have answers as to where they might be. We do know for sure that security is still topping the news, and I am very glad about that, because I was very worried about the fact that politics was going to overshadow, the efforts of the security operatives in the Northeast in particular, and that things might get worse. Let's start with the bad news first. There have been attacks in Adamawa State recently in the past week. I think over 50 people were killed. We also woke up this morning to breaking news about a suicide bomb attack in Potiskum, Yobe State. We don't know the number of casualties yet, but that just happened today. So Boko Haram members still seem to be trying to get the upper hand in the Northeast. But thankfully, there's a lot of good news as well. The Nigerian military have stepped up their campaign against terrorism in the Northeast, and most Nigerians are very thankful for it. We've heard every day, it looks like there's a new town that's been reclaimed by the federal government, and most importantly and most recently has been Baga, which was devastated at some point a few months ago, where hundreds, some say thousands, were killed by members of the Boko Haram sect. And we woke up yesterday to hear that the Nigerian military had reclaimed Baga town. So that's very, very good news. Hopefully, this promise that Mr. President made and members of the security operatives made to say that by the end of the 6-week postponement of the elections, we'll see significant improvements in security in the Northeast. Hopefully that eventually comes to pass. If this trend continues, of course, I'm sure that by March 28th, hopefully northeastern part of Nigeria will be able to cast their votes for Nigerians. Mr. President also, still talking security, commissioned some warships in Lagos in the past week, and it was the first couple being commissioned in Nigeria since the 80s, over 30 years, I believe. And that's also very, very important to note, especially considering the fact that the coastline of Nigeria, especially with regards to petroleum and oil bunkering, is still very, very, such a big problem for Nigeria, and especially our economy in particular. So hopefully that also helps with the fight to stop oil bunkering and help improve our revenue. The economy has been battered seriously. The Naira continues to slide. So many things happening, and politics is seriously in the air. But we're going to take a break now. And of course, when we come back, we'll be talking politics. The elections are still hot in the air. There's a lot going on with both of the presidential candidates and, of course, across the states. And we're going to have special guests in the house to tell us what they think should come in the next couple of weeks. We'll be right back. Welcome back now. Politics, like I said, is seriously in the air, and we're going to continue our Road to 2015 election series. And I have here with me Ikem Isiekwena. Thanks for being here today from Act Now. And of course, Opeyemi Ahmed. Thanks for coming.
You're welcome.
Yes, let's start with the former president. I know he's not even in the race, but he seems to be the most talked about person with the elections in the last week or two. And last week in particular, I think it was on Tuesday or Monday, when pictures circulated of him tearing, or someone tearing his PDP registration card in his presence, and he's saying he wanted to be an elder statesman now and not partisan anymore. That seemed like maybe an interesting thing to say, but some people took it as a swipe at PDP. What was your thoughts on that?
You want to go first? It's a partisan issue. It's your party.
Go on.
Let him go first.
I want to see your point to start.
Okay, there's no big deal about it. One thing is certain in politics, it's all about interest. What President Olusegun Obasanjo has decided to do is his own personal decision. I have said as a Yoruba man, and I don't want to talk much about it because it's norms in our own culture to respect our leaders.
Respect doesn't. You don't have to talk about it and disrespect him.
There's no matter. There's no fault already. Everybody knows Obasanjo left the party since 2012 when he resigned as the BOT chairman. Since then, he has been saying some things against President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. Nobody knows the reason for Obasanjo taking such decisions. But the truth about it is that it's a personal interest of Obasanjo, not a national interest. That's just what I want to clarify. It's just a personal interest of Obasanjo, not a natural interest.
Okay, why is he still such a factor in our politics?
Well, it's a bit befuddling because here we are. You have a party who's the so-called largest party in Africa, and they can't just get their acts together. We've seen a trend. It's been consistent. If you want to count the number of notable persons in quotes who have left the PDP, shows you that there's a crisis of leadership going on within the party. A few months ago, Tambuwal, who's the Speaker of the House, left. Before that, several, a catalog, we can just count them. And it shows you, I mean, Amechi left, Kwankwaso left, and these are states with a huge voting population. And you begin to ask yourself, what's the strategy here? You can't keep people that are even able to win you elections if you're looking at it from a purely political standpoint. And it shows you that this set of people within this party that can't get themselves together within the party structure, how can they translate leadership to a nation as complex and as big as Nigeria? If you can't handle your party affair and you can't keep the people who would win you an election, you can't keep them. How do you expect to handle the issue? So, and there's a trend. It shows you that there's a lacking sense of leadership. There's no strategy in the PDP. There's no thinking. It's almost. I think it's a question of people not actually sitting to know what matters. In leadership, you have to say people matter. We've got to court people. It doesn't matter if it's Obasanjo. It doesn't matter if it's the gentleman in my village who's going to is a party member, who's going to cast a vote or is going to canvass a vote for me. Everyone matters, and you must, in politics, you must merge your interest with theirs. And you have to translate that sort of leadership to governance, because Nigeria is multi-religious, Nigeria is multi-ethnic, so you must be able to deal with the complexities. And that's what I see always lacking within the PDP, and it's been even more so in the past 6 years. Before
I come to your point, I just want to ask you again there. Is it really a problem of the PDP or more a problem of our politics in general? I mean, we're sort of thrown into democracy in 1999. A party became dominant. Everybody wanted to be a part of this party because it was the ruling party and everybody wanted to get a piece of the cake pretty much. And now it looks like, okay, maybe there's two major parties now, if I may use that word.
Yes.
And so people are starting maybe to fall in line with people who they have more interest with, as against falling out or as against it being a PDP problem, if you know what I'm saying. Is it really a PDP's problem, or the fact that politicians are not necessarily finding their ground?
Yeah, okay. I'd like to go first, if you permit me.
Yeah, I
think it's a problem of ideology. I don't know. I mean, PDP has been in government for 16 years. I don't know. Do you know the ideology? I don't know the ideology. No Nigerian knows. What does this party stand for? No one can identify that, and that's the problem. That's what is lacking, because before you form a political party on the basis of an ideology, there's a philosophy that guides your policy, that guides your action, and that's where the APC is different, because now what we have an ideology that is left of center. So we say we stick with the people. So the manifesto of the party is essentially with the common man. So everything, if you look at it from those lenses, is a single view. When we speak about education, how does it affect the common man? When we speak about health, how does it affect the common man? If you want to provide power for people, how do you disaggregate it and ensure that it reaches the common man, it reaches the small and medium businesses? So that's what it is. And so what we have is a sifting going on. Anyone who knows you can't toe the line in this ideology, then you just would stay out. So it's very clear, all political office holders, I represent a political action committee, a pressure group within the party. What we do is narrow, is very narrow and focused. That, listen, we would influence the policies and ensure that this common man manifesto reaches every Nigerian. And what we will do is that we'll also pressure political office holders within our party to ensure that they stay true to what we go out to preach. So it's very clear, and that's why a young man like me can participate at this level, because I see a philosophy, but I don't know what I'll be doing in the PDP, because frankly, for 16 years, I haven't heard anything close to any sort of philosophy or any manifesto. And please, if there is, you could please enlighten us.
Well, these are pretty interesting. Will I call them allegations that he's doing?
Well, they're not allegations, it's fact.
I don't think